the spring. So if you are interested, I would definitely also invite you to attend our student panel event, which will be happening tomorrow at 5 p.m. in the EAP office. All right, with all of that said, welcome again to today's Study Abroad info session for Global Studies majors. The main focus of this meeting is to just provide you with specific advice for studying abroad as a Global Studies major. We plan to cover why you should study abroad, where you might consider going given your major, what courses, internships, or research experiences you might want to think about while abroad, and how you can figure this all out, and all of the resources that you'll need to begin your research. Diving into why you should study abroad as a global studies major, well, by taking major courses abroad, you can definitely help ensure that you will be able to graduate on time or even early, all while having the adventure of a lifetime abroad. When you do study abroad, you're definitely making an investment in yourself and in your future. You're not only investing in the academic portion of your life, but also the professional and personal areas of your life. And we also assume that you chose your major in global studies because it interests you. So why not pursue that interest in another completely brand new setting that will offer you a brand new perspective on what you're studying here at UCSB. You may even be able to find courses that could count towards your major abroad that aren't typically offered here at UCSB. And while abroad, you can also build really amazing connections and grow your social and professional network. Lastly, you will definitely be able to make yourself more marketable by studying abroad. You're already going to graduate from UCSB and with a degree in global studies, and UCSB is already a top-notch research institution, but you'll really be able to distinguish yourself from your peers when you're looking, again, for that first full-time job once you graduate, or if you're looking to apply to graduate school through your study abroad experience. And especially in today's global society that we live in, which is more connected than ever before through social media and everything, really obtaining that firsthand experience in a different country is so important. And it can also be an incredible learning experience and growing experience for so many students. Now let's talk about where you could possibly go as a global studies major. You definitely have a lot of options. UCEAP offers over 160 programs in 40 different countries. To search for possible program possibilities in your major, you should definitely go to the UCEAP website, which is shown here on screen. This is where you'll be able to find all the UC study abroad programs that are offered to UCSB students and all of the details like eligibility requirements and which terms the programs are offered. To sort through your options, I really recommend that you use the Find a Program search function, which is circled on the screen. And as I mentioned, UCEAP offers over 160 program options in 40 different countries. So although the program filter doesn't have a specific global studies option that you can choose from, you can definitely still use it and be able to filter your search by discipline. I would recommend selecting the international studies and politics category, and then you can then further filter your search by selecting the international studies subject. This will definitely help you narrow down your search a bit more because, of course, 160 program options is a lot to go through. Once you do select those two filters in the search engine, you'll be able to narrow down your search to about 77 options. You can then further narrow down your search by selecting the language of instruction that you're interested in or your desired term that you're interested in going abroad for. So I would definitely recommend playing around with the search function on the UCEAP website, just so you don't have to sit through and look through 77 different program options. I'd also like to highlight a few different program options. These are definitely just examples. There are so many others that you can also choose from and participate in to look into. So one of the UCAP's program options is their immersion program at the Australian National University in Australia's capital, which will allow you to get a close-up look at current issues facing international security through war games, crisis simulations, and you'll be able to learn about the decision-making involved in international security situations. If you're interested in joining the United Nations, for example, or intelligence agencies or other similar careers, you'll really get the practical experience from this UCEAP program through an internship or a research project while you're abroad. UCEAP also offers a global studies internship program in Geneva in Switzerland, they're actually known as the Capital of Peace. Geneva's humanitarian activities pulls through its ongoing diplomatic missions and headquarters to the European United Nations and the Red Cross. With its worldwide influence, the University of Geneva is the best study abroad choice for advancing a degree in global and international studies. And another option you can definitely look into is you can really delve into European politics while studying at Sciences Po in Paris, which is the political center of France. In addition to taking courses in your major, we also highly recommend that you consider doing an internship experience or conducting research abroad if your program allows you to. Internships are just a really great way to gain professional experience and boost your resume. You really get to know your host community on a much deeper level. And research experiences also really look great in grad school applications if you are interested in pursuing grad school. We have study abroad programs that will integrate the internship or research experience for academic credit, or many of UCEAP's immersion programs will also allow you to arrange an internship opportunity or research experience if that is something that you're interested in. Another great opportunity that I would also like to highlight is UCSB's EAP Freeman Foundation Internship Scholarship Award. Students can actually receive up to $6,500 in a scholarship award to pursue an internship for academic credit in select summer programs in China, Japan, Singapore, and Thailand. Emma, pictured here on screen on the left, was actually a Freeman intern in Singapore. She interned with a nonprofit called Billion Bricks, whose goal is to end homelessness through innovative design and alternative thinking. For more details on this really great, incredible scholarship opportunity that you can definitely take advantage of, I would recommend visiting the UCSB EAP website. Another one of the students pictured on screen was actually a participant in the Global Studies program in Geneva. Esther interned with Geneva for Human Rights, an NGO that monitors the various human rights bodies and mechanisms of the United Nations and uses its knowledge to train and empower human rights defenders around the world. Esther had the opportunity to put her Spanish and English bilingual skills to use in one of her larger projects, facilitating an expert seminar during the Expert Mechanisms on the Right of Indigenous Peoples. Esther was really able to greatly improve her translation skills through her internship experience, in addition to serving as a facilitator and ambassador to guests from Guatemala or Ecuador as well. So I would definitely really consider, if you are interested in going abroad, to also consider possibly doing an internship or research experience. Now let's take a look at the additional resources that we have for you. I'm now taking us to the UCSB EAP website. This site is different from the UCEAP website, which houses all of the program information. This is where you'll be able to find all the campus-specific information for UCSB students, such as major-specific information and our upcoming events for the office. By going over to the academics tab, which is circled here on screen, you'll be able to find a drop-down menu, which will then take you to the advising pages for all of the majors on campus. Here is the page for the global studies major. This is where you'll be able to find really specific advice from your department. One section that I really recommend taking a look at is a section explaining which classes you should take if you want to receive major credit for any of your UCEAP coursework abroad. And I would also recommend to also review the study abroad page on the Global Studies website for even additional details. Another excellent source of information that will really help you in your study abroad research and will give you additional information about courses that have been taken for major credit by UCSB students is our Gaucho Credit Abroad database. This is also found on the UCSB EAP website under the Academics tab. This database really shows you the type of credit previous UCSB students have received for the courses that they have taken abroad with UCEAP. When looking on the Gaucho Credit Abroad database and filtering your search for global studies courses, you'll be able to find a lot of course options. This can be really helpful if you're wondering what programs might offer courses in your major or what specific classes might count towards your major. However, it really is important to keep in mind that this is purely a historical database of what has been done by students in the past. It doesn't necessarily tell you what can be done when you might be going abroad, nor does it guarantee that those courses on the database are pre-approved by your major department. While Gaucho Credit Abroad tells you what UCSB students have taken and what type of credit they received here at UCSB, another even broader resource is the UCEAP course catalog. This contains additional information about courses taken by all UC students from all 9 campuses. So it's not just UCSB students and their courses that is displayed here in this database. So this will provide additional information and more information about the courses that they were taking abroad. Looking at the UCEAP course catalog and filtering your search again for the international studies courses that fall under that subject area, you'll be able to find over 400 course options that are listed here. And you can also get short course descriptions of each of these courses through the hyperlinks on the course catalog. This is also another great way to look into potential programs that may offer global studies courses that you may want to consider looking into. But again, just like Gaucho Credit Abroad, this database simply reflects what has been done in the past, not necessarily what you can do in the future. So you might be wondering where you can get the most accurate course information about the courses you might take abroad. Well, in order to get the most accurate information, we recommend that you go again to the UCEAP website, go to the program page for the program that you're interested in, and you'll want to click on the academics tab, which is circled here on screen. So for example, in this example, we're looking at Lund University. In order to get the most accurate information about their courses and what they're offering, you'll want to go to the host university's website, and that's where you'll be able to find the most current information about their course offerings and what they might be offering in the future. All right, now that we have discussed the resources available to you to help you search for potential UCEAP programs and courses in global studies, now we can briefly talk about how you can get major credit for your UCEAP courses. First of all, you should know that all the courses that you do take with UCEAP will automatically come back on your transcript and count towards your graduation requirements. Courses taken through UCEAP automatically come back as UC elective units that will count towards your graduation requirements here on campus. However, getting credit toward your major or your minor requirements for a course that you do take abroad, that isn't an automatic process. First, you must take the appropriate course abroad, get your grade, and then you must get approval from your major department in order to get major credit for that course. Typically, major coursework must be upper division and taken for a letter grade in order to receive that credit. You should also be in constant communication with your major advisors before you go, as well as when you are there. And what you plan to take and what you actually enroll in might actually end up being 2 different things. This could possibly be due to the courses that you thought would be offered aren't actually offered for that term that you're going abroad, or you may end up changing your mind about whatever courses you would like to enroll in, or there could possibly be a scheduling conflict. So this is why it's definitely really important that you really do your planning ahead of time and you pick a program that will work for you and allow you to be adaptable. And getting official credit for major courses for a course that you took abroad must happen after you have actually returned back to campus from your UCEAP program. And once you have received your grades for those courses, and then you'll be able to petition with your academic department. And we also like to remind students to remember to keep all your syllabi that you're receiving abroad and all the coursework that you're doing abroad in order to help support your petition process as well. And I'd also like to mention that you don't necessarily need to take major courses abroad as long as you are still graduating on time. You may very well fulfill all of your major requirements while you're still here at UCSB. I do know of students who have actually saved like all of their GE requirements and then they're able to fulfill those requirements while they're abroad. So they have a lot more options in terms of the classes that they can take. So it's really up to your academic plans and really individualized towards the student and what they would like to do when they're abroad. And I'd also like to mention for those of you who are global studies honors research participants, you will actually now be allowed to concurrently enroll in your honors research units while participating in UCEAP as well. With all of that said, now let's hear from a global studies returnee who studied abroad last year for the full academic year in Sciences Po Paris.
Should I stop your question?
Yes, so can you tell us a little bit more about why you decided to go abroad?
Yeah, so similar to when I was picking my major applying for high school, I kind of always knew that like I wanted to live somewhere else, learn other languages, potentially work abroad. So deciding to go abroad was something like I had already decided since high school. It was just deciding where exactly to go. And I think it's the requirement you have to take a new language. I did Spanish in high school, so I decided to do French. As I got here, did French 1 through 6 my first 3 years, and I really wanted to put it to use. And I was like 40 going abroad, so I decided to do it for you.
And how did you end up choosing your program?
Mainly because, as I said, I knew I was going to France. I prefer everything language, just makes sense. And then this is the political science university, which you talked about earlier. And although in global studies, I'm really interested in also like public science, philosophy, stuff like that. And this university is specifically focused on that. And so I found the classes to be, before I went, I looked at all the classes and I saw that they were really focused on things I wanted to do. And also had a high GPA, minimum GPA requirement, which meant that it would probably be going to be a pretty high level academics. And if you go online, you can also see it's ranked like number 2 in Europe for politics, number 8 in the world or something. So I was really looking forward to just being in that environment, and also just living in Paris, the biggest city, because I was looking at some smaller cities as well. But I decided that I wanted the big city experience because I haven't had that.
And can you also share why you decided to go for the full year rather than like just fall semester?
Yeah, so as I mentioned, kind of had to do it just always wanting to live somewhere else since young. But another major thing was that I had already satisfied a lot of the requirements here for global studies, so that allowed me to go for a year and take a lot of classes that I wanted to take that didn't necessarily qualify for the major, but I had just seen them online and found they were more interesting to me than the classes here. So I thought if I go for a year, I'll have an opportunity to do that. So over the 2 semesters, I was able to take 11 classes. And I took a couple in French as well, which is something I wanted to do. And I didn't want to do that first semester because I wasn't sure what the difficulty level would be. Obviously, I'd just taken French for 2 years, so I'm not sure how I'm going to do in those high level actual classes in French. So I did that instead. The second semester, first semester I just took a language class. Second semester I took full courses in language. And those were difficult, but I was ready for it, and it was very rewarding as well. And then also the year, just like the first semester, you don't quite feel at home, I'd say. I mean, you're in a new place, new language, new culture. It's a little bit, it can be intimidating. My roommates were from UCSB as well. I already knew them, so that helped. But I ended up being a lot of English speakers at the university because it's like 50% international students. My classes were in English, so that wasn't too intense. But then second semester, I definitely felt it. I started to feel like more at home. Got involved with some extracurricular activities. I was on the soccer team, which was really fun, as you can see there. And I had one of my roommates who is also going to study at UCSB. He went home after 1 semester. He was very disappointed. He wanted to stay here. So yeah.
And did you end up completing any major coursework while you were in Paris?
Yeah, so as I mentioned, it's like 11 classes, and I think 3 of those I took for major credits. So I took, we had to choose an area, and obviously I went to Europe, so I'm doing the European area. So I took a class on Russia, which satisfied one of those. I took another class on the EU, which satisfied one of those for the area requirement. And then I also have a minor in philosophy. So I took a class called Ethics of War and Peace, which is very interesting, and that satisfied one of the minor requirements. But as I mentioned, like there were a lot of other classes that were similar, like some law classes. that wouldn't technically qualify for the major here, but I really wanted to take them, so I did. And yeah, I think definitely getting stuff done early here or planning it out well for senior year, allow me to take like all the classes you want. But you can also choose classes based specifically on if they qualify for the major here. So I could have done that a little differently. But yeah, I definitely wanted to just pick the classes I want. And then also the global studies classes were just as interesting. Yeah, I took 11 until over here.
And do you have just any final general advice for students who are considering studying abroad or just beginning their application process now?
Yeah, I'd say, well, my first piece of advice is go for the year because you're a global studies major and you've been putting time into another language. So you're gonna want to use that. And if you go for a few months, you're not gonna get it. And also just being abroad kind of opens opportunities that you didn't know about before. So for me, the professors at my university there were not just experienced in their fields, they're very helpful and personable. So I've been connected with a lot of them there. I'd say more than here because for what I was studying, just being in Europe is more beneficial just because it's like in the center and America's kind of isolated. And yeah, America being isolated and other parts of the world, not just Europe, but other parts of the world just being available to us to study is a great opportunity. And yeah, it definitely teaches you a lot, not only academically, but personally as well. And kind of push me in direction for my future. So yeah.
Thank you so much for sharing. And if you are interested in going abroad for summer 2025 or fall 2025, the applications for those programs will actually open up this upcoming November. Apps are open until filled or until the application deadline comes, whichever of those comes first. There are select programs that typically will fill before the deadline, so it's really best to recommend, or it's just best to apply as soon as the application opens. For even additional information on application deadlines, we recommend that you visit the UCEAP website. Under the Prepare tab, you'll be able to find all the information about all the programs and their specific deadlines.
Open date, and that means that somebody who wanted to apply to that particular program can't even like start filling stuff out until that date, right? They can't do like stuff on the side.
Yeah.
Get ready.
I believe if you do go to the UCEAP website, you can take a look at screenshots of what the application will look like. So yeah, already like beforehand, you can already have all that information ready to go.
Okay.
And if you don't already have a valid passport or yours is expiring soon, we also recommend that you're applying for one as soon as possible, especially if you are considering going abroad next summer or next fall. Passport processing can take up to 6 to 10 weeks, so this definitely isn't something you'll want to leave for last minute. There are some summer and fall 2025 programs that may require you to have a valid passport by January or February. Now, at this point in the presentation, you may feel a bit overwhelmed since we have shared a lot of information and we've covered multiple resources and websites and databases that you can review. I can definitely understand if everything may seem a bit confusing at this point, but the reality is that UCEAP offers a wide range of programs that are different types, different terms, different countries, languages, and systems. These are programs that are available for all UC students from all 9 campuses, and new ones actually get added every year. So you definitely do have a lot of choices. We unfortunately can't say, oh, you're a global studies major, you should go to this specific country, take these specific set of classes, and this is how they're going to count for your major. You'll definitely have to do a lot of preparation and research on your part in order to make this possible for you. But the good news is that we are here to help. Our UCSB EAP office is open for business 5 days a week. We have an amazing team of peer advisors, so you can definitely come into the office, learn more about their experiences abroad, and they'll be able to answer any of your general questions. If you do happen to have any specific questions that are related to a certain country or program, you can also talk to our regional advisors, all of which are in charge of a certain portfolio of countries. And just some final words of advice, if you are considering going abroad next fall 2025 or summer 2025, we do recommend that you start your planning now. That way you will have the most options open to you and you'll be able to pick the program that best meets your needs. And we also recommend that you're attending additional info meetings. We'll have info meetings, as I mentioned earlier, running throughout the entire quarter that will be hosted in the EAP office here on campus. And to get more additional information about those meetings, we do recommend that you check out our Shoreline or our events page on our website. And again, we also recommend that you're consulting with your academic advisors at the academic department level, at the college level, and with our regional advisors in our EAP office as well. And if you don't apply, you won't go. So applying is completely free. This is definitely something you should definitely consider during your time here at UCSB. So this could literally be your classroom next year when you do study abroad. Your classroom is definitely not limited to what you're learning inside of an academic building, whether you're at a host university or a UC center abroad. There's definitely so much that you can learn outside of your classroom too, especially from your immediate surroundings, especially when you're surrounded by an entire new culture and people that you will be surrounded by that you haven't been exposed to before. Does anyone have any additional questions? Or any questions for your major advisors?
We just have maybe a couple of people state as well. I'm Megan Taylor. We're your two global studies major advisors. If we haven't met you or emailed with you, you've probably seen our email from time to time. Just kind of wanted to say a couple quick words. As you're starting to think about that application process, the EAP tools are fantastic for kind of those early stages, like how to navigate the website, how to kind of start narrowing down program options. And they're also really great for if you have questions about the application process along the way. And then we are your resource for major specific planning and major specific questions. I think the one really big place where we would intersect with you as you get your application going is the academic planning forum pretty much. And that's where you indicate, front side is like everything I have left to complete before I graduate. And then the back side is potential classes I think I might want to take while I'm abroad. And then you submit that to us and we give you comments and a signature on it so that you can upload that piece with your final application. Logistics wise, we just ask for if you're going to be sending those to us, send them to us by email with links, screenshots, PDF attachments, whatever works best for your program. Course descriptions, if you have specific syllabi you have access to, that's even better. Basically, just the more information you can give us about the classes you're thinking of taking, the better read we can give you on like how those count for the major. The only other thing I wanted to add is just that don't feel like you need to limit yourself to programs that are specifically sort of filtered as global or international studies. We are pretty open with what we can help you find classes that will work for your study abroad program options. We have on our website a admissions criteria sheet and gives you a sense of like how to get through classes for the major. If you're taking something kind of off menu. We also have a website section on our department website and our undergrad advisory section is all about study abroad. So we recommend that you take a look there too for some starter resources as you're getting home. What's up? Oh, the timing. Thank you. That's the other one. When you email us your APF, your academic planning form, we just ask, it tends to be a really busy season. It tends to come right as winter quarter is getting underway. We just ask for at least one business day, ideally 2 or 3 business days before the actual program deadline that you need to have everything uploaded by, just so that way we can guarantee you signature and comments in time for what you need. We also have one student peer advisor this year on our team who studied abroad, I think last year. So her name is Katie. If you take a look at our undergrad advising page on our website, feel free to reach out to her, book an appointment with her if you want to chat about the process. She went to Scotland, I think it was Scotland, but she can also just talk about like the experience of being abroad, even if you're not thinking of specifically going to Scotland.
Question. Yeah. If I'm thinking about going for a year, which year do you recommend?
I would say typically the most popular year would be junior year. If you are thinking about going for a year.
What year are you in?
I'm a freshman, so this is just like,
I'm
not even.
Love that. I'd say junior year seems to be what we see, if you're gonna do the full year. We've seen it for senior year, but then there's commencement, so it's like doable, but a little nicer than for junior year.
I was also wondering, like, if we're kind of hoping on double majoring, should we kind of plan that out now or maybe like later? You know what I mean?
Or to receive like major credit for
Like, just like in
courses.
general, like for planning courses, because I'm hoping in double majoring in poli sci, but I don't know if I should like figure that out now.
Are you currently full?
I'm
Or
currently
full?
global, yeah.
I feel like what we usually see is, good to start playing the groundwork with the poli sci advisors. At
Okay.
one point in time, the academic planning forum used to say, like, that you need signatures from both your current major and your second major, and we used to suggest that if you were like right on the cusp of committing to a second major, that you should talk to them as well.
Okay,
But you don't, I don't know, you have to like rush into declaring a double major just to like
okay.
include that as part of your study abroad process, but good to be in contact with everybody so that you kind of know how it's gonna work out.
Any additional questions?
Do we have to have our housing figured out when we apply?
No,
No.
your housing for abroad?
Yes.
Usually when you do apply and once you like are accepted into the program, that's when you'll start figuring all of those details out.
Is there like ever a case where you apply and you don't get accepted?
Generally, no, but if you are like, for example, considering applying to a program that on the UCAP website, their deadlines page you'll also be able to know which programs were filled before the deadline last year. So if you are considering applying to one of those more popular programs, then we definitely recommend applying as soon as possible.
Like housing, if we're like studying abroad the whole year, or if it's just a quarter, like, will the housing situation here like kind of translate? Like, if we applied for housing, like, if we have an apartment junior year, like, and, like, we're studying abroad for a quarter, but we still have the housing here, or if like we don't apply for that year, because we're gonna be living like abroad, like, how would that look?
I can.
Yeah.
So, if you're going for like half a year, like if you're going for fall semester or spring semester, I think the most common thing is for you to like sublease your house here to somebody who's like here for that specific event. Instead of like 7 years of free. But I think that's it because that's at least here that you want to be done. Yeah, sublease it. People like how I do that work. It's like
You just don't apply for that.
I got accepted, I got accepted and then was gonna leave in August, so in May, I don't have any. I'm just a bit unpaid, but, yeah, I did all my, I don't think in summer, and then I started when I got there. I did it before the day. We started, and then I had all the way through the year.
For those folks, that I've met with, when they're applying for off-campus housing here, and like, I understand a lot of these get back and sleeping. It's very like, the year before, and you might not even know you're doing about it, or you don't know about it. But I've talked to folks who said they're trying to design for the new here, just in case, and then, yeah, kind of find the studies to somebody else to recoup those costs if you do that.
Any other questions? Right, well, if you haven't checked in already, please make sure you scan in the QR code. And to learn more information, we also have a couple of informational materials up there at the front.
Are we okay to take off on the feedback for others?
Yeah.
Thank you.